Welcome to Tales from the Quran and Hadith, where timeless lessons come alive through the stories that shaped our faith. Today, we bring you a powerful story found in Sahih Muslim, known as The Boy and the King. It is a story of courage, faith, and sacrifice. Long ago, a formidable king ruled with an iron gaze, demanding absolute loyalty and claiming a power that belonged to none but Allah. To keep the people spellbound, he had a magician whose dazzling illusions tightened the ruler's grip. Time, however, made the magician's hands grow unsteady, and he asked the king for an apprentice, a quick-witted, sturdy boy to inherit the spectacle that kept the court under its sway. Chosen for his quick hands and sharp mind, a boy was sent to the court to become the magician's apprentice. One day, on the road to the palace, the boy paused at a simple hut where a humble monk spoke quietly of Allah, the one true God. The boy stayed to listen, and something in him shifted. From then on, he lived between two teachers. By daylight he learned sleight and spectacle from the magician. By dusk he sat with the monk and soaked up quiet truths. And slowly, with time, his loyalty turned toward Allah. One afternoon, as he made his way to the monk's hut, the boy came upon a road blocked by a monstrous creature that sent villagers scattering in panic. Remembering the monk's quiet lessons, he bent, picked up a stone, and whispered a single prayer. "O Allah, if the monk's way is true, let this stone fell the beast." He hurled the stone with calm resolve and the beast fell. The crowd froze, then erupted. This was no illusion, but truth. From that moment the boy's heart no longer wavered. He embraced Allah as the one true God, and with that faith came a quiet grace. Miracles began to follow him like a shadow. Wounded bodies mended beneath his touch, sight returned to the blind, and hope found those whom others had given up on. The firm grip of tyranny of the king over his people was beginning to loosen. Tales of his deeds threaded through the streets and markets until they reached every corner of the kingdom, finally slipping past palace walls and into the ears of the fearful king. The king, lips pressed thin and green with envy, dragged the boy before the assembled court and spat, "Who gives you this power?" The boy held the throne's glare without flinching and answered, steady as a dawn, "It is Allah, my lord, and yours too." Rage hardened the king's features. He devised brutal tests, hurled the boy from sheer cliffs, cast him into tempestuous seas. Yet each time the boy returned unscathed, as if protected by a force no sword or storm could breach. Desperation set in for the king. However, inspired by Allah, the boy told the king his terms. "Gather the people, bind me to a tree, arrow in hand, and then proclaim aloud, 'In the name of Allah, the Lord of the boy.'" Only then, the boy said, would the arrow find its mark. Blinded by frantic hope, the king obeyed. He summoned the crowd to witness his power, clenched the bow, and shouted the words the boy told him, "In the name of Allah, the Lord of the boy." The strings sang, the arrow flew, and the boy crumpled as the crowd watched in stunned silence as the boy who had gave them hope gave his last breath. A stunned hush swept the square as the boy collapsed, and for a heartbeat the king tasted a hollow victory. The silence broke like glass when a single voice rose, then another, until the whole square overflowed with one proclamation, "We believe in the Lord of the boy." The king's hollow triumph immediately disappeared. His plot had become a testimony, and the reality of Allah's power raced through the crowd, a flame that proved no blade or decree could prevail without Allah's will. Enraged, and in a bid to correct his mistake, the king ordered deep trenches dug and set ablaze, and he thundered his ultimatum, "Deny Allah and swear fealty to me, or into the fire you go." But it was too late. The crowd did not flinch. Men and women stood shoulder to shoulder. Mothers pressed their children close yet held their ground, and one by one they chose faith over fear. Their defiance cut through the king's roar. His cruelty only revealed its own emptiness as the people accepted the promise of something greater than his rule. The boy's sacrifice became a beacon that guided a nation into faith, a single act that broke the king's shadow, and opened hearts to the truth that true power belongs only to Allah, and that faith is worth more than life itself. This story is a testament that courage, sacrifice, and steadfast belief can topple tyranny and light a nation's path to faith. If this moved you, like, share, and subscribe to Tales from the Quran and Hadith for more stories that draw us nearer to Allah.